Hi, and welcome back to Project Sunbeam V6. Now, I've been off crook the last couple of weeks, so you'll have to forgive me for not posting or doing any work. I don't have a thyroid, so I take tablets for that, and the tablets I didn't know were out of date and not only became toxic, but stopped me producing a T4 and T3 cells. So I was in pretty dire straits there for a little bit until we discovered the issue of don't take out-of-date medicine, even though you get it on prescription. It's not check the use-by dates. So we were endeavouring on the rack issue. Now, the rack issue with this here is that everyone says what you should do is use an MG or an MGB rack. This is an MGB rack, and for right-hand drive. But the problem with this is that it comes out on the bottom side. So when you put it in there, it's on the bottom side, which means that you'd have to do a lot of cutting and metalwork and all that to get it in there, or you'd have to put a tube through your subframe and weld a tube through the subframe and angle it up to the dash holes from down under here, and go through the subframe about here or somewhere and have it sitting out the front, and angle it up to there to get it up there and put your joins and all that in. The other way would be to modify it, heavily modify it, cut the shaft, raise it up, put everything in, and it'd be and try and do it that way. But I threw it in the too hard basket. So what I went and did was I went and got a Ford Escort rack. Now I'm just mocking it up to see where it fits. I got it spaced up there. It's about where it's going to sit. I've got clearance. That uni joint lines up pretty much with the steering column. So I've got pretty much a pretty good angle to get up there with a second uni joint about halfway up, put a bearing plate or bearing mounting there. And I see that where that little tab is there, that's where they put a bearing plate. So that's pretty good. It looks like I'll be out of the way of the engine a lot. I'm going to put the engine in soon and have a look and see if I got clearance. I should have. And if I do have, then I will mock it up on there and do that. Now, I've been waiting for some tapered reams to come, and I don't know whether you can see this. No, my light's died on me. But what I've got here is that's a Falcon 6465 Falcon front hub. Beauty of this is that I go to 5 studs, which, as you know, more studs equals safety. And the other thing is I can get a larger selection of wheels and tyre combinations for it. Now, the biggest problem with the Tiger hubs and the Alpine hubs is this little arm here, which is your steering arm, and it's bolted on. And if I bolt it on, that's where it sits, as you can see. It's about 50 mil, maybe 75 mil inside that. So it's quite a way in. Let's call it 60 mil. And what that does is that has a problem with the Ackerman angle of this, which means that when you're turning right or left, the inside wheel turns more than the outside wheel. So the inside wheel might be like that, whereas the outside wheel might be like that. So then you have a really problematic turning issue with your car, and we don't need that. So by putting it out here, as you can see here, we are not that far from being right with this, with the angle. So I'm pretty happy with how that is. The other thing with these Falcon ones is that I'm still waiting for the tapered ring to taper out the stub axles so that I can continue to use the Alpine or the Tiger ball joints, which are the same. So by using them, I don't have to change anything on the arm, and I don't have to put a little sleeve in here and then put a special ball joint in there that from some place. Now, the later Falcon ones have got a bigger hole, so they're a lot bigger in the ball joint taper, and so you can't, you'd have to change the ball joint in the car to put them in because the ball joint is a lot bigger. To give you an idea also, this taper here on the Escort tie rod is also too small for even the Ford Escort tie rod. So they had really small tapers on the early Falcons. So all I've got to do is just taper that out, and then we're pretty right to go with that. Now, with brakes, as you can see, the discs on this era are a hell of a lot bigger than the Alpine discs, and we can get. There's another issue. Another good thing is that in Australia we had a Holden over England and the US. All those early 60s cars or mid 60s cars on brakes, most of them run a PBR or Girling that were 90 mil between centers, whereas which means that you can get these here anywhere. They have a huge piston in them, but also you can get aftermarket calipers. You can get 4-spot calipers, 2-spot calipers, 2-piston calipers. You can get a set of disc brakes for this is about pads for this about $15 because they were so popular. But the thing is that these calipers here came off a HQ Holden, which is a Chevy, and they're on a Ford stub axle. So that's how common these brakes are. But I will end up going to aluminium ones simply because I want to reduce the unsprung weight. But you can see the size of the disc rotor on that. And I can get ventilated discs, so I can get cross-drilled disc rotors for this for about $40. They're cheap as chips. Plenty of that. Wheel bearings, I can get the wheel bearings at most likely any trailer place, any bearing place, anywhere. For them, they're as common as duck poop. So there's lots of good things, but the best part is that we get rid of the Ackerman angle issue. And with the Ford Escort, this one's over 79 steering rack, we'll end up being able to get excuse me, there's literally hundreds of different types of dozens of different types of tire ends that will fit on this rack. So it's pretty common threads. I can get long ones, I can get offset ones, I can get, you name it, I can get it. And if I want to put a extension on there, I can just get them done up easy as anything to fit any type of toroidine that I want on there, so that's not a problem. So about the cost, so these here are about $40 each. These here are about $50 each. The calipers, the steering rack cost me $200, which is US $100, and a little bit of time, and put a couple of a bit of shaft and a universal fitting in, and a collapsible steering column in, and we've converted this here over to rack and pinion steering without really any issues. But anyhow, I thought I'd catch up with where I was and why I hadn't posted about it, and why we're and where we are. But hopefully, I got to go away for a little bit. I'm going over for a holiday. I'm going to the US, and I'm hoping to catch up with get some Sunbeam parts over there, or get some bits and pieces over there when we go away. So I'll try and get another post away an update before I go away as to where we are. Cheers. Thanks. Catch ya. Hey, don't forget, if you want to follow along, subscribe. If you think you might want to stay in touch with it, just like it. The algorithms will work out for you. You can come back and find me. See ya.